What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been struggling to layer your synths on top of your bass, then this video is for you. Throughout this video, I'll show you different techniques that I use to find the right synths for my track. And eventually, it sounds like this. So, let's get stuck into Ableton. Okay, so we're inside Ableton now, and our groove is sounding a bit like this. Really liking it, and some of you may tell who are following along with this series, it sounds a bit cleaner as I've done some mixing to tidy things up. So we are going to start layering some synths on top of our bassline now. Our fundamental synth is going to be this bassline. So our aim for today is to add some synths and bass sounds to our groove. And then we have a couple other synths to play around with that I found off camera, such as this one here. So with this in the groove, it sounds like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sort this drone hit here, which sounds like this. It is a sample I just cut out from a different track, and I've put some sidechain on it, an EQ, which is filtering out a lot of the lows and the highs, and a chorus and some reverb giving it that washed out effect. So for this one, I'm just going to go Command B, so I have this in audio instead of MIDI, and then from there, I can just add a gentle rise in like so. So it just sounds a bit smoother in the groove. And this will be used as an effect in a build-up or a slight fill like this. So I want some kind of call and response now between this riser synth down here. And we can even see in the melody itself that there's a nice bit of gap for something to take this space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the melody from the bass line itself and insert that down there. And then I'm going to duplicate this across like so. And then we can just go ahead and find a nice sound, which is going to bounce off of it and add a bit of call and response. Okay, so I can hear something over on this portion here. So I'm just going to draw this in. Bring this down an octave. Tonally, it's very, very similar to our main bass line, and that's why it works so nice. And then I'm going to go into the synth itself. I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to add some phasing to it. And then I'm going to grab an auto filter to manually modulate this and bring it in. So then let's copy this throughout the groove. I think that works better a bit shorter and less frequent. And I'm also going to drop it down another octave. And I'm going to rinse and repeat this so we can find another hit. I think another arpeggiator is going to work quite nicely. Okay, so I like this sound here, but it's definitely not what we're wanting melody-wise. So I think it's going to work better if we grab the root, which is a C, just put one long note in, bring it down to sort of C1. And we can maybe try this as a pattern as well, see what it sounds like. Both the one note and the pattern works very, very well. From here, we can go in and tweak the synth. So I'm going to open this up. Okay, so now that sounds completely different. It's not what I'm thinking of in my head, but I think this could be implemented as just a random synth hit that plays a bit in the groove. So to do this, I'm just going to extend the loop over 8. I'm going to turn this off. And then when I feel like I can hear that sound coming in, I'm going to press pause, and then I'll place that note in. So I think I can hear it's more towards the end over here. I'm going to try pitch it down. Something like that we can just use in and out of a groove. It doesn't have to stay permanently on that 8 bar. We can use it a bit more randomly. Okay, so I'm going to go back to what we originally were thinking, getting a bit of cooling response between that main synth. And the sound we were using was a Moog. I'm going to go and get a mini Moog for this, put in the pattern that we had, which was like so. And now I can adjust the synth. I really like that. It's nice and subtle part. I'm going to find some kind of variation. I'm liking this. I think maybe one note there and put this 3 up. And there's a lot of low end on this, so I'm just going to use this filter that we've got here, save a bit of time. And I'm going to put the align delay on it. Bring it in so it's not as wide. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to map out certain sounds I can hear. So I'm just going to put here bass riser. I'm just going to write it all on MIDI so I can get my idea out as quickly as possible and then focus on the finer details later on. Just like that. So I could hear a few things in my head and I just wanted to quickly get them out into reality as soon as possible. Now I can focus on actually finding these sounds. So the bass riser, I kind of just want a reverse bass. So I'm going to search that in. That would do the trick. I think this is actually from my sample pack by the sounds of it. That's nice. So I'm going to just get a bit of hybrid reverb on that one. And some erosion. Now I'm going to find a nice subtle donk sound, which I think I'm going to use sub boom for. That was nice, good little preset. And I'm going to put the erosion on this one as well. Sounding all good. And then the reso hit. I know what preset to use on this one. So I'm going to go for our root note, which was the C. Down, and I don't think this one's going to need the erosion on it. So I'm really happy with this groove now. So I'm just going to consolidate all of the bass hits. So we now have a nice 8-bar repetition. The last thing we need to think about before finishing today's episode is a concept I call forward thinking, backwards planning. Now, what does this mean? Well, it's about being in the loop stage and thinking, how am I actually going to progress this track out? Because if you can already visualize and see how the track is going to progress, once you get into the arrangement stage, you're already kind of 10 steps ahead of yourself. At the moment, we've got a really good groove, but I can't think of some interesting element yet to come in the breakdown or in the second half of a track to really help progress and elevate it. So I'm just going to experiment now and see what we can come up with. Okay, and there you go. So now we've got something that I can clearly see a vision for of how we're going to progress it. And for me, I always opt for trying to figure that out with sounds I've already got instead of trying to look for new sounds. Because now we've got a clear concept of using that arpeggiated synth as an actual ARP in the breakdowns, which we can automate and go crazy with. Maybe later on we'll find a layer for it. But for now, at least we've got that core concept and idea written down, brought into reality, so we can progress onwards. So there you go. I hope you found that video useful and now have a clear understanding of how to get some synths layered on top of your bass line, creating cool and response between different elements and really carrying the groove of your minimal tech track. Remember, this video is part of a series, so make sure you subscribe, follow along, because in the next episode, we're going to be incorporating a vocal which sounds a bit like this.
Baby, where'd you get your body from? Tell me where'd you get your body from? Baby, where'd you get your body from? Tell me where'd you get your body from?